Okay, so I need to get this off my chest. Merge Tactics has been a part of my daily routine ever since its launch in early July. Merge Tactics is a game that I'm both infatuated and infuriated with, for plenty of reasons. I've been thinking about the future of Merge Tactics and how far Supercell can potentially go with it, and in this video I'll just be regurgitating a few things I want to see in Merge. For the record, I am a Diamond player who is peaked in the 3900s at the time of me writing this script. Although I'm technically, or am I? I don't even know. I might be considered a high ladder player. I've made it to top 8K global, or no, I was in the 8,000s for my global rank. Anyway, I'm going to be just saying a bunch of ideas that I want to see in the game. So keep in mind that all my ideas are coming from a wannabe tryhard who really wants to see this game grow. First and foremost, let's get the obvious out of the way. I want to see Merge Tactics handle seasons in their own way. As of September 2025, Clash Royale had its monthly season reset and content update, but Merge Tactics didn't. They didn't get one for the previous month either. Honestly, pretty disappointing. I was genuinely expecting some sort of season reset where players get put into different leagues depending on their performance. I don't know. I'm just kind of frustrated that we haven't gotten a season reset 2 months into the game's, release. In order for Merge Tactics to feel fun, there needs to be something to work for. Having a season reset will allow players to experience the grind once again and make the game feel more rewarding, especially considering that the very top of the leaderboard is filled with players who got early access to the game, so they were able to push up with bots. I think a season reset, not just for now, but continuously, would be good for the game. Honestly, I want Merge Tactics to have its own identity. It doesn't help that it shares an app with Clash Royale because I feel like both players and the devs will see the mode as nothing more than a game mode, a side piece to the main game. Part of the game having its own identity is having its own rewards, its own monthly pass maybe even, and making sure that progression in the main game doesn't coincide too much with the game mode. I seriously not a fan about how levels give a 2% stat buff. I don't know, I don't get it. Even if you argue that the stat buffs themselves don't really change interactions much, you have to at least question why said stat buffs even exist in the first place. I feel like Merge Tactics is so connected to Clash Royale that the game is alienating the auto battler audience from experiencing the game to its full potential. But you're probably wondering, how can Merge Tactics have its own identity? Well, I have a few ideas. Cosmetics. I mean, we already have 2 kinds of cosmetics in the game, ruler skins and ruler confetti. The devs can build off of this by having it to where new seasons release a new ruler skin or skins each month and can be attained through maybe a Merge Tactics exclusive pass or maybe a Merge Tactics exclusive quest or skin that's only available to players who reach, let's say, Diamond in a season. Personally, I want more ways to flex in this game because, to be honest, I'm struggling to reach a top 10k global rank after my fall from grace earlier in the season. So apparently my skills aren't anywhere near good enough for me to flex with a global rank. So why not flex with style, with cosmetics? I think that'd be pretty cool. Hell, they can even take it a step further. Release different boards that we can play on. Something that helps with making the game feel more fresh is having a change of scenery every once in a while. Let us have the ability to customize our board. The main game kinda has this with different playable arenas, although the arenas are tied to trophies and aren't customizable cosmetics. I want an option to change what game board I can play on and have it to where each round you switch between playing on your game board and playing on your opponent's game board. If this sounds familiar to you auto battler enthusiasts out there, it's because I literally stole this idea from Teamfight Tactics. I mean, Merge Tactics is already a faster-paced, bite-sized version of the former. Might as well use what works in that game and apply those features in Merge. I think Merge Tactics should heavily lean on cosmetics. I'm sure the team can come up with more ideas on what they can do with cosmetics, other than troop skins, because I think with the fast-paced nature of the game, I don't think they can get away with that. Hopefully, once they find their groove in monetizing Merge Tactics in a fair and non-pay-to-win way, the game can lean away from power level discrepancies. Also, while we're talking about cosmetics, they need to make it to where we can emote. Holy crap. The game feels lifeless sometimes because there's no user interaction whatsoever. They don't even have to have Merge Tactics exclusive emotes. Just letting us use emotes from the main game would be great. I recently bought an 8-bit barbarian emote and it looks so freaking cool, and I want to use it on other players, but I can't because I can't emote. Pretty unfortunate if you ask me, but okay, I'm done talking about cosmetics. However, there are still things that I want to see in Merge Tactics to make it feel like its own game more than a derivative of Clash Royale. This may be a bit of a stretch, but honestly, Merge Tactics should have its own clan feature, honestly. Most clans in this game only really talk about or care about the main Clash Royale mode, and there's nothing wrong with that by any means. I mean, Clash Royale is over 9 years old, so why wouldn't people talk about the main game? However, sometimes I wish I could just be a part of a clan that exclusively engages with Merge Tactics, because due to how new the mode is, there are way too few of them out there. Merge should have its own clans feature in my opinion, separate from that of Royale's. This could pave the way for so many additional features to be added into the game as well. Friendly battles, sharing battles, spectating, and more. Oh, speaking of which, this game needs a battle log, and spectating, and replays. Just saying. The game also needs friendly battles too. It would be nice to play a casual game against 3 other merged tacticians and not stress about gaining or losing elo. Friendly battles would also make the game more social by allowing more experienced players to coach less experienced players, which would be a way more convenient method than just streaming your gameplay on the Clash Royale Discord. Also, it's just a cool way to connect with other players and just have fun with the game. Shoot, they can even go a step further with this and implement a tournaments feature similar to Clash Royale's. You can invite tens or even hundreds of players to battle it out for the top spot. Just another fun way to connect with other members of the community. Kind of pave the way for potential competitive events down the line, despite this game being nowhere near competitive. Hell, give Merge Tactics its own dedicated TV Royale, where you can watch highlight matches from the best of the best, see how they play and what builds they use to help climb your way to the top of the leaderboards, or at the very least at the top of ladder. Honestly, I'm just spitting out random ideas, but if you have other ideas, let me know in the comments and please let the developers know about it as well. We gotta show them that there is a legit community in this game, and we all want to see this game succeed, because due to the lackluster and damn near non-existent communication we've got from the Merge Tactics team, I don't think they're convinced that we enjoy this game. So hopefully we can push them into making these changes. And of course, we want new gameplay content as well. I want to see new troops, I want to see new rulers, I want to see new mods, you know, the basic stuff. Now you're probably wondering, well, with the way deck building works, it's impossible for there to be new troops because it'll be harder to fulfill synergies the more troops there are. That's a valid concern. However, what I think will happen is that cards will be cycled in and out of the draft pool. For example, let's say they add Dark Prince to the game. I don't know if they will, by the way, this is just a hypothetical scenario. They add Dark Prince to the game, but in order to add Dark Prince, they have to take a troop away from the already existing draft pool, like the default Prince. Again, just saying a random troop. I think when they add new troops, they need to take away from the same amount of troops from the draft pool, keeping in mind the balancing with the classes and stuff. I feel like if they take this approach, it'll be easier for the meta to not be too stagnant, with the same cards being dominant over the course of a few seasons. I also want to see some new game mechanics be introduced to the game, while expanding on what we already have currently in the game, like healers for one. There are no dedicated healer troops in the game. In fact, there are only 2 ways to heal troops in this game, from clan synergy when a troop goes below half health, or from quad ace synergy when the captain deals damage. Would y'all like to see more healing mechanics? I don't know. I think it would be nice to see. Imagine if Battle Healer was in Merge Tactics. She would just be a 3-cost troop, for example, or maybe even 4 costs, I don't know, with stats similar to a Knight, but with the ability to heal allies around her every time she attacks, equal to the amount of damage she deals, just like she does in the main game. Or what about a unit that slows down movement speed or attack speed? Ice Wizard. What about more units with combat start abilities, like a miner who burrows his way to the back of the enemy lineup, for example? Or a goblin drill that does the same thing but leaves behind a goblin? What about more units with ramp mechanics, like a 2-cost elixir golem that will give you elixir if it survives at the end of the round, but if it dies, it'll give your opponent extra elixir? Again, I'm just throwing out ideas. Like, don't get mad at me if they sound unbalanced. I'm literally just talking out of my ass right now. Hopefully they come out with more troops that introduce new gameplay mechanics that hopefully don't ruin the game's strategy. Keyword, hopefully. I want the same for new rulers too. I noticed that the 2 new rulers are based on improving the player's economy, with Empress increasing elixir earned from merges, and King having a built-in comeback mechanic. I want to see new rulers with different abilities and contributing to the game in ways other than economy. Also, lastly, I do wish that over time the gameplay improves and maybe even reaches a point where it's competitive. Right now, the game is not really that competitive. It's strategic, but it's not competitive. I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, the worst part of this game is the early game. Basically, if you have a bad early game, it's insanely difficult to come back and at least finish in the top 2. Sometimes you're just going to be dealt a very bad starting hand. No goblins, no cheap units, just a bunch of 4 and 5 elixir troops back to back. Having a bad start like this creates a domino effect of falling behind, because while everyone else is farming elixir and building their teams, you're spending early game and even part of mid game playing catch up. It's so frustrating because sometimes it feels as if the game is genuinely out of my control. Hopefully they make improvements to allow games to at least feel more fair. Maybe implement some sort of catch-up mechanic similar to the Royale King. Oh, and speaking of King, they also need to improve the balancing of the rulers too, because Spirit Empress is pretty much the only ruler people run in High Ladder. It's boring. There's no variety. It's kind of weird that there are only 2 playable rulers in the first place anyway, but hopefully the balancing gets improved as new rulers get added. Well, in conclusion, Merge Tactics has so much potential. It's insane. I've been waiting to play this mode for over a year, and it's safe to say that the wait was indeed worth it. I'm so invested into this game, it's insane. I even reached top 10k in the global leaderboards at one point. I want to see this game succeed. I really do. But I feel like the devs haven't really been respecting this game as much as the community does. There was initial hype for this game, like, you can't deny that. People were, at the very least, curious to see what Merge Tactics was all about. And plenty of other people saw what Merge Tactics was all about and just stayed in for the ride. Like, it's a genuinely good game. Like, I really enjoy it. And there is a genuine community for this game. However, what pisses me off about Merge Tactics the most is how I feel like it's being neglected by the dev team, because all we've gotten from Merge Tactics, really, aside from its initial release, were 2 sets of balance changes. Just 2 sets of balance changes. Those are the only forms of communication that we've had regarding Merge Tactics. Oh, and when they disabled it for an entire day for CRL, but, you know, that didn't even have anything to do with the game itself. It's just, hey, we're just taking away this feature temporarily, be back tomorrow. Like, I want the dev team to, at the very least, acknowledge, you know, the community. Acknowledge that, you know, hey, like, I don't know, like, I can't believe, like, there hasn't been an official, I guess, you know, guide or, you know, beginner's tips from the official dev team. Like, you know, it's, I don't know, like, just ways, just like, you know, simple guides or announcements, or even saying, hey, we're working on an update, so stay tuned. Like, that alone would be better than the literal nothing that we've gotten from the dev team. Like, it's so frustrating too, because you spend so much time trying to get a new mode out, and you want Clash Royale as an app to be this hub of, strategy games. You want to expand Clash Royale beyond the normal, 1v1 tower defense, which, is fine, and you're doing it, but you're doing a terrible job communicating with the community and keeping in touch. You know what I mean? Like, it's that so many people just aren't, like, nowadays, as of September 2nd, 2025, a lot of people aren't really invested in the merge tactics anymore because we haven't gotten any updates aside from balance changes, no communication from the dev team. We haven't even gotten a season reset. Now, a season reset, in my opinion, really shouldn't be that hard to implement, especially since merge tactics is so bare bones in terms of, like, content, that all they would need to do is just reset stars. Like, that's literally it. The fact that a feature so basic isn't a part of this game mode is honestly concerning. And I don't know. I feel like we just need to, like, I don't know. The dev team needs to at least tell us that something's on the way. And, I had the same problems last month in August when the season didn't reset. But, for those who don't know, most of the devs are based off of, are based on Finland. And in Finland, it's like Finnish law that, employees take like a month-long summer break or something like that. Even though, from my knowledge, most of the developers working on Merge Tactics are in the Shanghai office, Shanghai being a city in China, so I don't know if those same rules apply there, but I gave them the benefit of the doubt of that, okay, they probably just got back from summer break, They released the Merge Tactics right when they went on summer break, so I was like, okay, no new content, like, I'm fine with that. But now we're going to September, and not only do we not have new content, but we haven't been told what's going on behind the scenes, or even any form of interaction whatsoever. Like, like, give us something. Like, I don't know. Just give us something. Because it would really suck if they take away Merge Tactics because people aren't interested, despite the fact that the devs themselves have treated the game as if they themselves weren't interested in it. It would really suck, in my opinion. So I really want to push the dev team to just, do better with communication and stuff like that. Because right now, Merge Tactics just feels like a dead game. And that really sucks to say, but, when you have no new content outside of the balance changes, no season reset, like, and especially since, again, so many people on the global leaderboard farm bots to get there. It's like, give us something. Give us at least an announcement. Like, give us something, But that's going to be it from me. What do you guys think? Are you guys invested in the Merge Tactics as I am? What features do you want to see in the future? Let me know in the comments below, because in my opinion, this game is too much fun. Frustrating, though, especially considering that the dev team is going radio silent on this mode, but it's still fun nonetheless. I'm just frustrated that I feel like this game isn't getting the proper care that it deserves. That's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching. Take care of each other and love each other. Peace.